Nicknames are made up, and the long shots might just pay up. This is
Chronic Combat Conversation.
You know TV's on the mic, flipping names on sight. Renames every fighter, whether wrong or right. Rule with the glasses, rolling up the stash, breaking down the fights while they chase that cash. Parlays, props, dogs, long shots too. Digging in the couch, finding change for the crew. Early week breakdown, Saturday they hit. If you're betting with the boys, then you know this is it. Chronic Combat Conversations. Yeah. Light it up, place your bets, no hesitation. Chronic Combat Conversations. That's right. Green like the herb in the cash in rotation. Oh! Names get twisted, odds get lifted. Smoke clouds drifting while the picks keep shifting. TV spitting fire, gurus getting higher. Couch change acquired, long shots inspired.
Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC card. With your host, TV Scouting MMA, and
the Guru, back again, Arriba! UFC Noche from not Mexico, San Antonio, because why the hell not? We've got Diego Lopes taking on Gene Silva in an absolute banger of a featherweight matchup. Cannot wait to break this 14-fight card down. But before we can get into that, we've got a special guest in the building. Make sure you're following him on 1, 2, 3. I don't even know. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 MMA guy. It's the other way. MMA guy 1, 2. He's fucking crazy out here. If you're not following him, you're making a mistake. He's putting out free plays with Pepe, bringing in loads of cash for you for no reason other than just, you guessed it, the love of the game. We got Gene Silva in the house, even though he's fighting this week. Dogfather, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Which way is your handle? Please say it to the folks.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 MMA guy.
All right, I had it right the first time.
nice.
Yeah, I think I made it when I was 22 or 23.
Oh, you're gonna say like 14, so that's not.
No, I never really planned on doing any of this. You know, I've been betting for a while, just like doing my own thing, and never really planned to do content. I'm pretty new to the game, I guess, in comparison to most people. So, yeah,
we know that feeling.
Yeah, definitely. And listen, we always appreciate, some high-level breakdowns, a guy that puts his money where his mouth is and has a really good record overall. I mean, if you've been paying attention, Dogfather is cashing bets at a high rate. He's a really good dude. So I'm really excited to break this card down. We're live every Thursday, exactly 8 o'clock Eastern. We're never late. We've got the best bets, the best guests, always free picks. So without further ado, what you guys came here for, and shout out to the chat too, because we are excited for the Guru. That's right, Kurz. Hell yeah. And I'm telling you, new theme song. Hope you guys are loving it. It's a great time. And Daz, one of the true great ones. We appreciate you joining, brother.
Guru's got a haircut. We got a new song.
Wow.
TV's got a haircut too, I think.
Nah. I gotta do one though. You're right. Yeah, it might be the best intro song. So, make sure you guys show some love. If you haven't thrown a like, if you haven't subscribed, do the right thing. Went to Grandma's couch. I'm glad you took a visit to Grandma's. I'm glad. But we've got the dream. You better dream, believe, and make it happen. We've got Diego Lopes plus 195 versus Gene Silva, Lord himself, not the famous recording artist. But this is going to be an absolute banger of a matchup. I think we're guaranteed an exciting fight. It's going to be hilarious. If Silva, tons of glove touches, looking fun, but this guy knows how to scrap and throw down. And Lopes, he can swing it. He's got crazy scrambles. I am curious, though, what does Diego Lopes's offensive wrestling look like in this matchup? Because I think that's where he's probably going to need to get it to have enough success here. Lopes can crack. He swings hard. He is going to have a bit of a height and reach advantage. So we're looking at 3 inches of reach, 4 inches of height. But I wouldn't say that Lopes is necessarily a master of managing his distance. It might just help him catch Silva better at the end of his punches. So having that reach advantage will help you offensively here. But I don't think that Lopes's defense is really good enough to avoid the power and the damage of John Silva over 5 rounds in this matchup. But I think we could say that, the stand-up play out close, especially early, the threat of the takedown, and if it's successful for Diego, that's going to change the trajectory of the fight. I don't think Silva's grappling is as good, but I think he's super strong. He's got great stand-ups, and he does have a high-level jiu-jitsu and overall striking acumen. The Fighting Nerds losses last week, it's not necessarily fully related here, but if you're looking at momentum and guys in the gym that you're rooting for, like, he was definitely sad when they lost. Minus 238, I'm not looking to do that. But Silva, I could see him with a little, round 3, 4, 5 KO potentially. I could see Lopes with a submission would be his most likely path to victory. So if you feel the need to talk, go down to grandma's, dig into the couch cushions and find a couple props, that's where I'd go. But I think my pick on this fight, it is going to be Silva. I'm not going to do a parlay though. Guru, what do you want to do here?
What do I want to do? I think both of these guys are really fairly tough. So the angle I kind of like here is I like the over. So I was just trying to pull it up now myself to look at the fight to start round 4 for us to get 2 championship rounds. That price is should have had it up. Sorry, everybody. Minus 120. So at minus 120, Dogfather doesn't love it, but I mean, I don't love it either, especially, of course, with the chance for violence because both guys are extremely violent as well. But I would really think, unless it happens super early, I think it plays out. So, I mean, Gene Silva beating the brakes off of Melsik Bagdasaryan and Drew Dober. These guys are I honestly, I don't know. There's when I'm thinking about it out loud, there is some similarity in Drew Dober, and like, sure, he's a tough guy too, but he's similar to Diego, and like, there's a lack of defense there. So if you give Gene Silva a chance in terms of not having good defense, I think eventually he could put you down. That's the other thing, though. His Diego I know he's been finished, but was it subs or knockouts?
Oh, there's been some knockouts.
It's 2 knockouts for Diego. Both.
It was a ground and pound stoppage back in ACA a long time ago. Yeah,
they're both round 2 knockout losses for Diego Lopes. So I honestly, I think that's fair. I think like a round 2, 3, 4 knockout grouping on FanDuel for Gene Silva could absolutely be the hot round. I don't know. I think it's fairly evenly priced. Like, I think it's fairly priced. Does that make sense? Is that crazy? I feel like I need to hear what Gene Silva has to say about his own fight. So,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's accurately priced. Like, I think a lot of this stuff seems to be accurately priced to me. Like, as like, I know you like to go to overs and stuff, but when you look at like to get to round 4 of a Gene Silva Diego Lopes fight, you still have to pay vig. I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay that.
Yeah, that's fair.
To watch 3 rounds of these guys, because like you said, I mean, Volk has not really shown to be much of a power threat. He's still rocking Diego on the feet. And we've seen Diego broken in the past by ground and pound. We've seen him one out of there in his Contender Series fight. Like, I don't question his toughness, but I do have some concerns for his lack of defense. And he's also, he has his own power on the feet as well, and his own submission threat. So I kind of do think it's probably Gene mid to late rounds. But, from a money line perspective, I think we're probably sitting at about where it's right. Like, I'd probably pick Gene to win, 7 out of 10 times, maybe 3 out of 4 times. I just think he's the better overall fighter. I think he has better cardio, and I think he has better striking. And I don't really see much from Lopes as like an offensive grappling threat here. So unless he's catching him in an early submission, I don't really. I find it hard to imagine him putting Gene out on the feet. So I really think he's kind of drawing to like a early round submission. But he is such a dangerous fighter, and he is very skilled too. I could see, him potentially winning a decision if he keeps his standing lance of big shots potentially. But I do kind of think he's outgunned here, just from an overall skill perspective. So I like Gene. I think the money line's fine. I think the total is just impossible to bet though.
Yeah, no, this is a really tough one.
Like
really
if this fight ended in round early under 1.5, I don't think anybody would be surprised.
No, not at all. It's a great point. There is so much volatility. I could see what the pathway for either guy would be, but I could just see more of them for Silva. So he is the pick. He is the pick. And we'll see if we can circle the drain on a prop here, but you can't force it, right? You can't force it. All right, we've got Rob Ariel Font. We're switching over from Times New Roman, and it's the Black Spartan, David Martinez. Minus 105 for Martinez, minus 115 for Font. Pretty bold prediction. What do you think here, Guru?
On this fight? I mean,
yeah, on this fight.
Look, how did the line get to where it is now? Like, what is that about? I don't necessarily understand that.
I think this Font is on thin margins, typically.
I mean, he definitely fights on thin margins, right? Like, I mean,
Microsoft Word references, anybody?
Dutouche. I mean, his best chance to victory is a decision. I mean, the way that he knocked out Adrian Yanez is like still haunts my memories. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but Martinez doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't. But isn't this the guy? Isn't he the doctor? Yeah, like
smart guy.
Yeah, but beating 5-0 Xavier Franklin and then maybe one of the top 10 worst UFC fighters you could have in Simon Oliveira, like he hasn't shown anything. It'd be really nice to see him fight Quang Bang like he was supposed to. But yeah, at a dog price, I certainly lean Martinez, but it definitely seems like everybody did. Pepe, check your DMs, buddy. We tried to get you on the show for an upcoming pay-per-view, my friend. But in this fight here, I do like the younger guy. I think he's a little bit bigger as well, and he's comfortable in the striking. So anybody with power and serviceability versus Rob Font can probably get it done. So at this price, though, truly, I don't know that I'm interested in. I mean, Gene Silva is better than David Martinez. No, am I crazy for that?
So, Father, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I lean Font to win on the matchup just because he pumps out more volume than this guy, and the level of competition gap is incredibly wide. So, at a pick'em price here, I know that Font has his concerns, with his age and his durability, but over the course of 15 minutes, I do kind of feel like Font's the guy to pump out more volume. He's the better boxer. He does kick too from range, and I see Martinez as a mover at the end of the day. He's a stick and move guy at this level. He's got a good calf kick. I think that's the one thing in the matchup here that's a little bit intriguing because Cheeto Vera got a lot of success with leg kicks off on Font, and so I do understand the market move on Martinez because things have been rather bearish on Font, especially because of his age. But, at the end of the day, I do lean him to win the matchup. I'm not going to bet on him because it's kind of against some of my betting principles to bet somebody at this big of an age disparity and somebody that has shown regression. So I'm going to choose to pass. I do kind of lean the under as the side because I do give Font finishing upside because this is such a large step down from his prior comp. And Matsumoto wrestled him a ton. I kind of see a somewhat high-paced striking fight. And, with Font's, chin concerns, and he still can hit a little bit. I kind of lean the under, but it'll probably be like 2-3 knockdowns for both guys, Font, GTDs of 29-28 or, 29-28 either guy. But, Yeah, exactly. Like I kind of feel the same way. Like it's just a drug of choice. You want to bet a Rob Font under at plus 240 for him
That's
to get
so
dropped twice.
fucking
So,
funny. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
that makes a lot of sense, and I feel like this is just such a tough matchup because we talked before how Diego Lopes doesn't know how to use his reach advantage. Well, Rob Font is one of those guys that does. He's 3 inches taller. He's got 4-inch reach advantage. And TriStars had him 1 in good shape and 2 fighting good game plans. Where I did get a little early David Martinez, barely plus money. This isn't something that I'm super confident in, and it's not high stakes, and it might not be something I keep. I do see the upside, calf kicks, power, even the outside chance that he mixes in some of the wrestling. That could be another factor, but Font is going to be a tough matchup here. Short notice opponent change, supposed to be fighting Quang Bang Lee, and you're stepping up to Rob Font. This probably just requires taking a step back. I don't think playing Font at minus money here is going to be worth it. So this isn't me switching what a money line play is going to be, but I really need to consider if Martinez really is the correct option or if it's just the cute line move of the week, because CLV has haunted us time and time again. And just because the line moved from plus to and flipped over here, it doesn't mean that Martinez is necessarily going to get it done. We've seen Noche fighters, trying to be promoted. It was Lazy Boy last time, and it's just embarrassing things can happen to you. So, fly too close to the sun. Let's see if it's Icarus time for David Martinez. The Black Spartan, this is going to be a tough one, tough hill to climb here. But yeah, I'm going to slightly lean to Font.
At this, if we didn't get CLV, dude, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. If we didn't have CLV, if we didn't have a ticket right now, I'm telling you, I would be talking the Font game, because you have to. At this price, it makes no sense. What has David Martinez done, proven, shown that he should be even with Rob Font, a 20 fight? This will be his 20th UFC fight. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And it's to the point that there's value on Rob Font. I actually think that. What did we get? Like plus 115 or something on Martinez? It's like if you got plus 180, if you got plus 150, fine, whatever. Good for you. I mean, that's the ticket. But plus 130, plus 120, plus 110, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Is it actually going to hit? I feel you.
I think that over a 3-round fight, which is it's expected to be, I don't know how you couldn't have a coin flip on Rob Font and think you're not getting 50% if the fight goes 3 rounds. If it doesn't, he probably got sparked. I don't know. He's getting dropped by Cheeto when he's really good. He's getting dropped by who? Like Figueiredo? Who else? He's getting dropped by Corey Sanhagen, Jose Aldo, right? We picked Aldo as a dog in that fight. Like that. I don't know.
I agree. We don't have a great pick there.
No, it's a tough fight.
But yeah, I would lean Font for the experience at that price. All right. We've got gifted Rafa Garcia plus 200. Jared Flash Gordon minus 245. This one should be a fun one.
Dude, there was a time when I felt like the UFC absolutely hated Jared Gordon. Here, Jared, why don't you go out to Brazil and fight Charles Oliveira? I feel like there's a time they really did not like him. And now, since the Paddy Pimblett fight, they're like, all right, man, we're just going to give you a fair matchup after fair matchup. This is another winnable fight for Jared Gordon, for sure.
The line says so. Jared Gordon is expected to win at a solid clip here, minus 245. And I tend to agree with that assessment. I think he's going to have the clearly better pace on the feet. And Rafa Garcia is going to need to get a takedown, rinse, repeat approach here to have success against Gordon. Garcia is a solid grappler. Don't get me wrong. Solid wrestler, I should say. But, man, there's just something about his wrestling that just leaves something to be desired for me. He does slow down if it doesn't work out for him as well. And I could just see Gordon just accumulating volume and making his life miserable as this fight goes on. I'd even lean towards, Gordon potentially being able to get a finish here. But at the same time, Rafa Garcia, he does have that one knockout loss. That's ground and pound to Dawson. So, on the feet, it's not like he's chinny or anything like that. But I do worry, like Chris Grutzmacher having great success because you can't take him down and you gas out. Drakkar Close, you can't take him down. So what happens? You have a bad time. Jared Gordon here, I think it's tough because he doesn't have the best takedown defense. It's in the 60%, 62. You don't love it because Garcia, that's what he's going to try to do to win this fight. So slim margins, Garcia probably gets at least one of these rounds with some sloppy control time. But I got to take Jared Gordon as the pick. I think he's going to clearly land more damage. And I think he's even been improving recently. Like, this is a guy where you almost thought, oh, he's had so many knockout losses. He's looked rejuvenated. Maybe it's the competition. Maybe it's Maybelline. But Guru, what do you got in this matchup?
I don't think that there's any value there. Like, it's like you said, it's kind of similar to the Rob Font fight, and it's like it's thin margins. Jared Gordon generally wins a decision. Knocking out Thiago Moises in round 1 was like exactly like knocking out Mark Madsen in round 1. It was like, what the fuck just happened? And hey, listen, maybe post USADA, Jared Gordon's got a little pop in his striking. Maybe it is Maybelline. Appreciate you being here, Ghost. Fuck. Tough fight. I think Jared Gordon round 3 decisions probably just fine. I think if he gets it, it's from Rafa Garcia gassing late. But otherwise, there's what do you need here? Maybe yeah. I don't even know that Gordon can make the make the bookies pay parlay of the week. I'm actually, TB, I was gonna text you and not blow up your spot, but just because we're talking about it, on our stats that we've chosen here, we have takedowns attempted per 5, which is fine. I would like to see takedowns landed per 5.
Well, I mean, you could see how many takedowns they
have, and then I need to figure out how many fights they have, and now I need to start dividing when we could just put one more stat up.
Well, I mean, if you know their percentage, right? Like, their percent landed. Like, correct. This is already a gigantic list of stats. I'm just trying.
Again, we can. No, I understand. I'm asking for one more or the change of attempted to landed, because I know attempting is important, but it's also important how many you land. Like, for example, if I'm looking at the stats right, Jared Gordon attempts as many takedowns as Rafa Garcia does. So it's like, I actually need to know really who's,
it's because of per minute at distance statistics. So, if more of Garcia's fights are taking place, I mean, we could go over statistical analysis another time, but I'd love to hear the.
I actually thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, Dogfather's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what those stats look like if he removed the Nasrat Haqparast fight where he shot 15 times and half of them were half-assed takedown attempts just to make Nasrat tired. So
that's fair.
I think if you remove that fight, you have a whole different sort of a statistic here. I think that fight is kind of an anomaly. It's not really relevant to this fight as well. I think that Garcia is the better wrestler. I think he's very clearly the better wrestler. He has better takedown accuracy. He actually does a really good job at getting on guys' hips, picking them up, slamming them down. He is very physical early in fights. He has decent control, and he does a good job at grinding on the cage too when he gets you there. And at 37 years old, at the end of the day, Jared Gordon's best 15-minute performance is at the UFC level is a split decision loss to Paddy Pimblett. I just want to put that into context when we're talking about a minus 250 favorite at 37 years old in the UFC. And to me, that makes Rafa the clear side here, regardless of, if you don't like him or not. These guys have fought similar competition. So I think that's why the line is what it is, because, the Dawson fight, you're going to say, Dawson washed Garcia and Gordon had some moments of success. You put it into context, though. Dawson was on short notice. This was before he moved to ATT. He's a much different fighter than the one that fought Gordon. You look back at the Nasrat Haqparast fight. Garcia loses a 29-28, and Gordon arguably wins. But that was Garcia's debut on short notice. So I think the momentum that Gordon has right now is a little bit much. That's sort of influenced the line here. And from a matchup perspective, I think that Gordon does probably win a 29-28 on the back end, where Garcia gets some early round takedowns or some grind in round 1 and round 2 and sort of concedes, round 3 because he can't keep up. But the one thing I did notice in Gordon's tape is if you do grapple him, he slows down as well, because he now all of a sudden cannot dictate the pace of the fight. You see it in the Selecki fight and in round 3 of the Dawson fight. Once he can't really dictate where the action takes place in the fight, he doesn't look as dominant as we've seen in his past, 2 out of 3 fights. Let's be real, Mark Madsen was doing work on this guy until he landed that overhand. And, the Bobby Green fight, at the end of the day, he got outstruck by Bobby Green 25-18. Like, a lot of people, I think, were very surprised at his performance there. And, I just think this line has a lot of recency on it. I watched Rafa Garcia tape, and I was expecting something way worse than what I was hearing this week. I think he can win this fight. And I think at the age that Gordon is, over the course of 15 minutes, I think he's due for some regression. So I like Rafa. I think Gordon should probably be like 60%, like minus 150. Like, when's this guy ever covered minus 250 if he's not memeing Moises or Madsen over the course of 15 minutes? Has he ever covered this price? Maybe, whatever it was, Sanchez back in the day. Who was it?
Yeah, but I get your point, though.
You made a lot of good points.
Yeah.
I think I think the grappling is a problem. Like, if Rafa Garcia's cardio is better, I think this would be an auto play. But
yeah. I mean, because I agree. I think he loses. That's the problem, right? As I do think he loses around 3 at a high clip.
And he'll probably win, especially if he gets to the grappling, he could win round 1 at a high clip. But how many times have we seen fighters like, okay, when are you going to start grappling, pal? And like, they just don't.
Unfortunately, Guru doesn't have the controller in his hands.
Pisses me off, man. Oh shit! We got both fighters on the podcast tonight. What's happening?
It's TB Gastelum. Kelvin, step up to the plate.
Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday. Kelvin Gastelum.
You really should have wrote Taco Thursday. Like that's. I actually liked the nickname until I realized that sucked. Like, it's Taco. We're on Thursday. We're a Thursday podcast.
Yeah,
Taco
but
Thursday. But it's Taco Thursday. But it's Thursday.
All right. I know you're just not gonna
I
listen
can't
to anything about it, so we'll just move on. Versus been spending most of our lives living in an Amish paradise.
Why
Dustin,
Amish?
Because he's Pennsylvania Dutch, baby. Dustin Stoltzfus, Amish pride, maybe not fully Amish, but you know the vibes. Plus 200 on Stoltzfus' side, minus 245 for myself. Look at that shape I'm coming in. I mean, look at that belly. Isn't that something to behold? And I'm really scared here for myself, Kelvin Gastelum. This is one of those matchups where if you don't just go ahead and take what must be taken, like beat this guy up. Oh my gosh. That's so good.
That's so good.
Amish Paradise time has hit. Let's go. This is perfect. The Dogfather's locked in, brother. I don't trust Kelvin. Once again, at this line, minus 245. In the Lord's year of 2025, if Kelvin Gastelum loses to Dustin Stoltzfus, you might as well hang him up and enjoy tacos every day, brother, which you probably already do, honestly. But Stoltzfus, he's got one clear path, right? You got to wrestle, and wrestle some more. Just get, you're the bigger body here. Gastelum, this dude, come on, man. Get a proper nutritionist. Get some, some real
all right,
diligence.
enough with the proper nutrition. He'll never do it.
I know. So he's undersized in every matchup. So if you're facing the wrestler, that could be an issue, brother.
Like wrestler? Like Mickey Rooney? Mickey Rourke?
Man. But yeah, Dustin Stoltzfus, so tempting, but I don't think I could.
No, he's not.
There. Kelvin Gastelum, do the damn job, brother. You got
not.
Under 2.5 plus 165 is screaming my name.
That is more interesting, but also still kind of not, because like TB without looking.
Okay.
I think we probably did this the last time too. So maybe not. Who was the
Okay.
last person Kelvin Gastelum finished?
Oh shit.
Yeah, you forgot. This is awesome. I
yeah.
remember watching this fight live. It was so good.
Okay, so hold on. Bisping?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember because
2017
you schooled me
in
last
China on short. Yeah, we did this probably last time for his fight. So like literally like in China, short notice, 3 weeks after getting beat the piss out of by GSP, he fills in and for Anderson Silva and fights Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum knocks him out in 2 minutes. He can't finish anybody. And the truth is Dustin Stoltzfus is tough as nails. Like getting spinning elbow knockout by Bruno Ferreira and then the front kick from hell from Abbas Magomedov. I mean, these things are relatively understandable.
Damn it.
Yeah. So the fight's absolutely going over.
Plus 140 by decision for Kelvin.
Yeah, it sucks, but he's going to win. The truth is that Kelvin Gastelum is of no use to you if he can't win a couple fights. And the truth is that when he's not facing elite competition, he does. He just beat Daniel Rodriguez last year. D-Rod's decent.
but he was like, hey, let's fight at 170. Just kidding. I'm fat.
Yeah, but so
that's a huge difference, bro. Daniel Rodriguez is not a 185er. So he just schools him.
Bro, like Daniel Rodriguez is bigger than Kelvin for sure. And he's also bigger than Dustin Stoltzfus would be my guess.
Daniel Rodriguez is a 170er and
okay,
this is a 185.
Shut up. Just so we're clear, D-Rod is 6'1" with a 74-inch reach, and Dustin Stoltzfus is 6 feet tall with a 75-inch reach. Just so we're clear. Yeah,
yes, but
D-Rod is fucking huge
for a reason. Arm length doesn't account for how big your body is.
Bro,
there's a reason why D-Rod makes 170.
Look at the body on this man. Look at that.
Come on,
beautiful
dude.
Body.
Yeah,
he's
eating
so much.
He's a taco. He's not just a taco. He's the whole chalupa.
Your point about the weight classes and the size here, you're wrong. So you're muted. We're going to the Dogfather.
Yeah. As one of the biggest Dustin Stoltzfus fans in the industry, I do kind of feel like this is a tough fight for him personally, just because if he's not consolidating on top, he's at a striking disadvantage here and a cardio disadvantage. Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about it. I do feel like that Gastelum's a decent bet, but the problem I'm having is just Dustin will go for takedowns, and it's hard for me to bet like -2XX when a guy has grappling downside. The question is if Kelvin does stand up once around, he probably butchers Stoltzfus on the feet because the striking gap's pretty wide here. Dustin's not a very good striker, especially when he gets tired. He gets tired in round 2 and round 3, and he has been running relatively hot. I would say he ran hot against MAB. He ran pretty hot against Puna showing up with AIDS. The guy is a solid UFC level fighter, in my opinion. He'll give a lot of dudes a tough night. But I do think that Gastelum does have KO upside, largely because his level of competition. You go back and look at the guys he's been fighting. I think that's a big gap from the type of guys that Stoltzfus has been fighting, or I just think the KO is live because just go on Kelvin's resume and the dudes he's been fighting his last several fights, even 2017 on, just look at the level of comp. I mean, how often does he really finish those guys? So I kind of think that the Gastelum money line is tempting, but I don't think I'm going to get there, sadly. Dustin's my guy, and if I fade him, he will somehow, heel hook him in like 3 minutes. So I'm going to avoid the fight entirely.
Honestly, and this is a great question, James, because these are sometimes the moments where I'm like, I've only really been upset when I overexpose myself. When I pass on a spot, may I be like a little FOMO for sure. But at the same time, like I'm very happy to avoid some of the variants. It's just about practicing that a little bit better. So hey, we keep on grinding.
I know the answer for that.
Uh-oh.
It's the one you don't make.
Yeah, good man.
It's always the one you don't make because losing feels way worse than winning feels good.
Yep.
I hate losing way more than I like winning.
Honestly, that's a great mindset. We're gonna have to. I like that. We're gonna have to apply that a little bit. All right.
I expect to win, and I feel like an idiot when I lose. I feel way worse.
You know what's not winning? This nickname, the Great Ape, Alexander Hernandez. Can we just go back to the Great? I like that a lot better. Like it's kind of this doesn't make sense, Alexander.
It's
what
because
are we doing now?
it's because he got into NFTs.
Oh God!
You knew that? You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
honestly, that makes it even stupider and makes sense giving his like IQ. Yeah, no, I mean that's terrible, man.
I think Hernandez is actually a very smart guy. He just
yeah, I know.
He's just a mongoloid.
Yeah. So the mongoloid, the Great Ape, Alexander Hernandez versus Go Diego Ferreira at -120 now. We've got a line flip alert. Man, this is really tough for me. I see a great argument on both sides.
It's the story of this card.
Yeah, this is tough. Diego, I watched him not only get knocked down in round 1 versus Mateusz Rambecki, but also like to kick off round 2. What happened there also? Like, it didn't look great, and Rambecki just slows down, can't keep up the pace, and that's where I get so concerned with Hernandez. Like, he's shown the power. He's shown that he's still got some danger, but he went from fighting a little boy to a grown man right now. That's the difference here. And Diego, just how seasoned are you going into this matchup? You know, he had to make a cut. He had a previously scheduled matchup. Things didn't work out. Reschedule Diego now for Alexander because he has a great knockout and he doesn't cut much to make 155. So might as well, right? Throw it together. At plus money, I did lean, the Diego side. At plus money for Hernandez, it's like, damn, I could see where he has some potential to damage Diego. But, man, the pace, the cardio, the wider variety of offensive striking, I just don't think Diego's got defense like at all. That's my big concern here. Bad, slow reaction time. And Michael Johnson is boxing the shit out of this guy until he lands a gigantic overhand and just it's done, right? But up until that point, it looked really bad. And that's where I think Hernandez, 155, not cutting as much, seems like becoming a corner man for Royval and kind of leaving the Factory X place and figuring out their own thing. I think he has grown mentally, and he does talk about, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory in like previous times in his career and understanding a little bit of his growth and where he's at now. Like, damn, do we actually have like a smart, intelligent, great athlete, someone that maybe like a post-hype type of prospect here?
Can I pause you?
You can because this is about to go.
You're sucking him off after knocking out Chase Hooper.
Okay,
so that's all he did. All he did was prove you wrong in being able to knock out Chase Hooper.
Well,
and now you went from non-believer, total bag of shit to full-time believer.
He won round 3 versus Hollabaugh when we thought he was
fading.
That's
why I tried. I didn't listen to myself, and I ended up on Hooper. But
so that's what I'm saying. Is this the same guy, or did we actually see a change? We see him win a round 3 with wrestling. We see him land a beautiful knockout.
Where he's changed is that he doesn't go for broke anymore. And if you've been watching, he's stopped going for broke for the last 5 fights or so. Changing his style in that regard has made him a better fighter. And by not going, wait for the pun, ape shit, right? By not going ape shit, he's a more cerebral fighter, as well as, I believe, changing his camp, maybe a better coach. So I don't, at the same time, the line is kind of flipped. They were giving him Diego Ferreira, King Green, who we liked Bobby Green, but Bobby Green's the one's like, hey, I'd fight with a broken fucking hand, but my injury was so bad, I can't even fight. Like, we were about to bet on that guy. That's not good. So they give him a quick turnaround, literally a month later, versus this guy. I just don't know. honestly. It's, right? We picked Diego Ferreira versus Michael Johnson, and he looks awful in that fight until MJ does what he does best in snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. He just chokes and he thinks he's out of range, and he's not. The jiu-jitsu guy knocks him out cold. So, I don't know. I honestly lean the younger guy in Hernandez. But if Diego can kind of play the same game, I do still trust his cardio better. But, Wait, what about the over? The over interests me.
Nah. What do you think, Dogfather?
Who finishes Diego?
Gregor Gillespie, Mateus Gamrot. Mostly anytime he takes a step up in competition against a younger, more physical
and
guy.
Dustin Poirier. But yeah, the Gamrot fight was weird. No, it was the Gillespie fight that was weird. Which one was he fucking
Gamrot was a broken rib.
Yeah.
And then Gillespie gassed him out.
He got broken in both of his finished losses, and he's only older now.
Both of those guys push crazy pace and have much better wrestling than Alexander Hernandez.
Agreed, but he's 41 now.
That is also true.
I don't think that that now becomes a new thing. The one thing to me that was rather concerning actually is that Diego's game is he doesn't really concede bottom position a lot. And I know that Dawson's kind of like a smothering wrestler, but like he was really willing to concede bottom position and close his guard. Which he even got a stand up in, I think, round 3 to even make himself look like he was more present in that fight. But he was on the way to getting completely dominated for 15 minutes by Dawson. And as somebody we've always viewed as like an elite counter grappler, if that's your game and you're 41 years old getting absolutely, rinsed. And I know Dawson's very, very, very good. But if you're this elite counter grappler and you've been finished in both of your finished losses by just pretty much getting broken. And my bad. Only 40. My bad.
It's like a solid 40.7.
Yeah, I gotta keep my things in track. I was rounding up. But the guy's turning 41 sooner rather than later. And at the end of the day, I don't really see where Diego's better than Alex Hernandez at this stage of his career outside of cardio. I truly don't think that Diego's a better striker than him. I don't think that Ferreira's a better wrestler than Hernandez. And outside of Ferreira probably being a little bit more, what's the word? He has a little bit more, finesse about his game, I guess. Hernandez's game's maturing a little bit. I think that's kind of what you guys were more getting at, that Hernandez's style has matured as he's, gotten deeper into his career. I think Hernandez has matured his style. He's matured as a fighter. He knows how to win rounds. The only fight that really bothers me for Hernandez is the Hubbard fight. And I know it wasn't short notice. I know it was at elevation, but I think Ferreira kind of pushes like a similar-ish pace to Hubbard. He's kind of like very workman-like, pumps out long jabs, long weapons, kicks. And I think he could possibly bust up for Hernandez. And I think we're probably at like a close 29-28 type of fight. But I do give Hernandez the finishing upside on the front end, because when's the last time Ferreira fought a dangerous striker?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I would go back on his resume. When's the last time he fought a guy that's like much of a hitter? I guess MJ maybe. Is MJ really a hitter at the stage, though?
No. Anthony Showtime Pettis.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since Ferreira's really fought like a dangerous striker. I guess Rebecca's not even a dangerous striker, though.
No. You're right. I like Hernandez in this spot, and I'm definitely down to go against the line movement. And
there's an 8-year age advantage. There's just so many things to me that I understand that there's downside to betting Alex Hernandez, but he's the underdog now. Long-term betting principles just make me want to bet Hernandez. I'll probably get there.
Yep.
I actually think it's kind of interesting that they Hernandez...
Diego Ferreira. It's just confusing me. Everybody's like, Diego Ferreira is just a great counter grappler, and he pumps out volume on the feet. Okay, now he's fighting a guy who's really like a primary striker with good takedown defense. What's his edge in this fight? It's cardio. Okay, well, he's almost turning 41.
Yeah, his cardio is not getting any better.
Nope.
So
and Rebecca gassed himself out. The line is a bit confusing me. I think Hernandez should be like minus 150.
I think I agree, and I do. Oh wow, it's a home. Yeah, he's from. Is he from Texas? Wow, that's an interesting thought. So it's a quick turnaround from him.
They're both Texas guys. They're both Texas guys. I think Ferreira's CDS Fortis MMA guy.
Yes, 100%.
He also drives
really. It's on the same card that Diego was supposed to fight on. Same card.
Okay.
That August 16th card. Thank you.
Last 2 points that I would bring to the table. Diego talking about burnout. He drives like 4 hours to get to his training camp. Like he lives somewhere and then he drives to Fortis in Texas. So it could be a grind. So diminishing returns. And then Alexander Hernandez knockout. The line's probably better elsewhere, but plus 300 on DraftKings. That's starting a conversation. All right.
What's KO1?
Ooh, that's probably where he would do it also. You know what I mean?
What's KO1?
I don't have a great answer yet, but I'm about to get that for you. We're going to use
like
FanDuel because I'm curious.
Probably plus 800, 850.
I would also be interested in like round 1, round 2 as well. Because little buzzer beater action last time. What if it takes him a tiny bit longer? But we saw Diego gets stumbled immediately in round 2 against Rebetsky as well. So round 1 itself plus 600, round 1 knockout plus 700. Yeah. And then if you want to go round 1, round 2, it's plus 410. And Alex is from San Antonio itself. That's probably why he was so willing to hop in here.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Good for him.
All right.
Good for him. Having a homecoming.
We've got the border boy. Don't call ice. It's Santiago Luna minus 130 versus Quang Bang Lee at plus 110. Listen, he did it himself. That's his nickname, not mine. I would like to be extremely clear. I'm not actually down with the time, so I do apologize for the off-color jokes. But regardless, we got minus 130 on the debutant at plus 110 versus Quang Bang Lee. Oh, my God. I mean, listen. I was a little bit nervous about Luna, short notice, late replacement, making his UFC debut. And I'm like, wait a second. Why is Quang Lee in the UFC? Oh, that's right. He had to do this at one point against Chris Gutierrez. He probably, he's okay. He's fun. But, Long Zhao, he's like a round 3 menace, by the way. So that was, I can't take away too much for that. But then also, he's just underwhelming. Gaston Bolaños, that guy's got no wrestling. And I was like, ooh, if Luna's, he's got a bunch of knockouts, like big swinging on the feet. If he doesn't, it's like, oh no, he's like literally like a champion wrestler as well. So I don't think he has the best BJJ. Watching how he usually hurts guys to get success, but I watch him get a mount on some guy that he rocks, wobbles, and the guy's standing up again. I think this is his last fight. Within another 10 seconds. So I don't think he has the best jiu-jitsu, but his wrestling's solid. And he's got power in the hands. He's willing to swing, and he's got the natural power from the hips. Like those wrestlers, he knows how to throw it. I think it could be bang for Quang Bang here. He might not like what's coming back. I could see Luna getting a knockout at plus 350, but this is also a 135 fight. And Luna, his last fight was in May. He comes up here, didn't have another scheduled matchup. So true short notice, Quang Lee was supposed to be fighting David Martinez. So Luna, it's very tough, even at a very short money line price here at minus 130. I'm having a tough time pulling the trigger there. I just think he should win. Whoa, Shady, welcome back, brother. Let's go. Appreciate seeing you, sir. All right, so Guru, what do you got in this matchup?
I don't necessarily mind the weight cut for Santiago. He ends up moving down a weight class, not up, which is something that I don't mind on short notice as long as you can cut the weight healthily. I honestly think Santiago is really not too bad at all. I think he's fairly well-rounded. He's got some solid power. It'll be interesting to see what he's got here in
to take it to a guy in Quang Bang who, to me, doesn't have much to offer at all. The Gaston Bologna's fight was very impressive how he ended up getting that submission. But otherwise, but like Gaston's a total gasser and cannot grapple for shit. I think Santiago is actually willing to mix it up, which could be a problem for Quang Bang. So I don't want the debutant at minus money, but if you were able to get him at plus money, which I believe he was, good shit. But yeah, I definitely like Luna here. Dogfather.
Sorry, gentlemen, I scooped up a lot of Luna at plus money.
Smart man.
Some of it might be me, some of it might be other people that got this line here, but I you know, and I'm a Quang Lee enjoyer. You know, I've been there with him before in LFA, and I think he's a respectable fighter, you know. He's solid all levels, decent grappler, decent striker with the hands, okay calf kicks. Is one thing that I kind of think gives a little bit of credence to betting Luna here and him being the favorite is that Quang's cardio isn't that good. So even if this guy's short notice, he gets some adrenaline dump, you know, his cardio is not as good as you think. Quang's not really a pace pusher. He's never really been a historical guy who pushes a pace, you know. So I kind of think Luna will be fine over the course of 15 minutes. And he has, like you guys said, he has a wrestling base. I saw he was like NAIA wrestler or something. You know, I don't really know what his wrestling credentials are. I do know that he has absolutely no control when it comes to his grappling. I think, you know, Guru mentioned that, or TV, you might have mentioned that, where, you know, he gets to mount and the guy just like literally gets right up immediately. He does not know how to spell jiu-jitsu or BJJ. So I don't really see him having much like top time grappling upside, but from a defensive perspective, that's what I care about. And it seems like he did some of the right things fighting this Russian dude. So I kind of lean his side. I think he should be like 60%. And I do feel like it's one of those weird fights where if this guy kind of presents what I see on tape, which he has solid wrestling, he's very athletic. He seems to be improving from, you know, when he was 19 to 21. His tape seems to be rapidly improving. And I like his physical gifts. He seems like a very athletic guy. So I do think if he comes through in this matchup, the issue moving forward is his pricing in future matchups is going to be awful because the market's only going to predict improvements from this kid moving forward. So I think even at minus 115, minus 120, I still think you should probably just invest in this guy early. Quang is somebody who the UFC really clearly doesn't want to do too much with. You know, he got in here on short notice and they sent him off to China to fight his last fight. And they brought him in to UFC Noche to fight, David Martinez? So at the end of the day, the UFC doesn't really view this guy as somebody who they want, you know, or want to keep long-term. So I do think, you know, I'm more than happy to bet Luna at this short favorite price, honestly, even here. So
it makes a lot of sense.
I like Luna. If I can get a better price than minus 130, I'm gonna.
The KO is plus 420 on FanDuel.
That I would be interested in.
That is very nice. Yeah, I think. Listen, minus 130 on DraftKings is the best you're going to get right now, Guru. Yeah, it's minus 138 on 365. So
I was just going to check there.
You could just wait it out.
Yeah.
You could take a total maybe, but I'm not really interested in a total, I guess. So
yeah. All right. Beautiful. I love it. All right. If you guys haven't done the right thing, really messed up of you, but you can fix that right now. Why don't you throw a like on the video? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now that I'm remembering, someone told us if we gave out a winning parlay, they'd be giving us a nice donation. I think we gave out a winning parlay last week for the.
We absolutely gave out a winning parlay. We actually gave out back. We gave a 2-leg and a 3-leg. And
yes, we did,
and both hit.
And they both hit. Wait till fight day, maybe some late steam. I would love that. And maybe you could play like an over 4.5 minutes to get you to better pricing on DraftKings same game parlay.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Fair enough. Yeah, he might kill him. Yeah, he could totally kill him.
Please,
Totally.
please don't listen to this man.
Yeah. All right, but what you should do, come on, throw a like, subscribe to the channel. We're giving out some winners. We're having a lot of fun. It's always free. We've got the best bets, best guests, always free picks, and we're moving on. So throw a like. It's Chicho, Jose Daniel Medina versus Dushko Thunder, Lightning and the Thunder, Todorovic. Oh, man. I mean, quite frankly, this matchup is just like two guys that are getting an opportunity. And this fight is being priced like it's a squash match. But each of these guys is equally like, hey, brother, this is the worst opponent we can find for you. Like each one of them, you can't get worse than this for their division, I don't think, right? And I think Chicho's got a chance, baby. Plus 310. If there's one thing that he has over Dusko, it's the durability edge. What I am worried about, the wrestling, the striking defense, coming off of his first knockout loss. But even that, I mean, he eats the knee and goes down. But the dude's not out. The ref just decides, like, I'm going to save you, brother. I see the GOAT, Ateba Gautier, trying to kill you. Dude, I really think there is a slight chance that we get Chicho Mania. Jose Daniel Medina fulfills his Dana White legacy and gets his first UFC win on Mexican Pride Night, Noche UFC. Versus Thunder, Dusko Todorovic. And it could be hilarious, right? It could be hilarious. We might see another injury that leads to the, Todorovic not being able to make it to the final bell. But I think, by whichever way, I think I need a little piece of the dog shot here. So, Guru, you want to yell at me a little bit? Am I wrong? Do you hate me? Does it make you sad?
Are you kidding me? This is the only way to play this fight. Dusko Todorovic shouldn't be minus 400 against a 11-year-old. He could just blow out his knee as soon as they say go. It's not good. He is not a good fighter. How is he still on the roster? What UFC fight is this for him?
All right,
this is his 10th UFC fight. How is that possible? Did he sign a new contract? What
okay. Here's my hypothesis. He started off hot. Right, so he gets this.
But that's already wrong. He starts out 2 for 2.
Okay, so he gets another contract. That's hot.
You're right. You're right. The Mackie Patolo fight gets him another contract. Then what happened?
Okay, so then he suffers an injury in the octagon after his 8th fight, and they're like, "Shit, like we got to give this guy another contract."
So you're saying
because we don't want to pay for his healthcare for the rest of his life, and he needs to prove he can be medically cleared to get in an octagon.
No, but didn't he blow out his knee in the Leroy Duncan? Yes, he blows out his knee in the Duncan fight. Well, that's not his 8th fight. I think that's his 7th.
Oh, no, the 8th fight is Duncan. 7 is right. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at contenders.
That's his 7th. But I think maybe to your point, they maybe would have cut him, and then maybe they're like, you know what, we'll just sign you to a 3-fight deal instead. How would you like a little bit of a pay raise?
Mansour, Zach, and Jose Daniel Medina.
It would not surprise me that after a 4th loss in a row here, they cut his ass.
Cut his ass. All right, so it sounds like, could this be the trifecta of danger on Jose Daniel Medina? Dogfather, speak some sense into us.
Yeah, Medina's pretty bad.
Has Medina won a round in the UFC?
Oh, God, he might not have.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he was won a round. So at the end of the day, I think you guys are making a case for an underdog that hasn't won a round in the UFC and has, in my opinion, no discernible skills at MMA.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, 4 years ago, Dusko Todorovic was a favorite over Grigori Rodriguez. Okay, he blew his knee out. He got KO won by Chidi Njokuani. He fought Christian Leroy Duncan and blew his knee out. He fought Mansour Abdul Malik and Zacharias, who's a minus 900 favorite to Daniel Jose Medina. Minus 900 favorite, and he covered. And we're making a case for Jose Daniel Medina. I'm sorry, I'm not the trifecta you want here.
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't like that he even said that. I'm not putting money on it.
No, I know.
I don't even know how he's the side. He is the worst UFC fighter that has ever been signed to this roster. He has not won a single round. Okay. I know that Dusko's not the best. I know he's quote unquote shinny. Okay, let's go back and see his KO losses.
You're right. Chitty, Manser, and Duncan, and Punahele.
Okay. What does Daniel Medina have?
A chin.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe not even anymore.
Jose Daniel Medina got 30-27 by a dude who got, I'm not going to MMA that, but Jose Medina got 30-27 by that absolute Russian fraud.
Gadzhi Sulov, who we hate.
And yeah.
You're not wrong.
A guy who couldn't finish Brendan Cerbero, okay? That's who he got 30-27 by. Dusko can probably land takedowns at will. Maybe the only thing that Medina has is cardio, but I really struggle to understand what he does with a cardio advantage. I don't like. What's he gonna do to Dusko with his cardio advantage?
Nothing.
Like maybe he can get on top, but like, at the end of the day, like I think Dusko. If you watch the Reese and Dusko fight, and then we go and watch Jose Medina, there's just so much recent footage on these guys. Even a regressed Dusko should really honestly cover this price against Medina. Like, when I tape him, I really struggle to see what discernible skills that he has.
He needs to cover it with a knockout. Like he needs a round 1, round 2 knockout if you're Dusko.
He could just get on top of him and grapple him.
You think he proactively will wrestle?
Magomed had 6 takedowns. Reese had 5 takedowns. And the fact of the matter is that Dusko's pace and takedowns and, kind of like volume ground and pound were what made him fun early. He attempts over 4 takedowns per 5 minutes of distance.
All right. Well, so
if he tries it, it's probably successful.
So yeah. Would it be crazy to go then the other way? It's like we go
2-3.
No, you go under.
I think you just take ITD. I just think you take Dusko. For me, I just think. Look, my opinion of these type of fighters when they're in the UFC is they're so bad. How many of these guys actually win a UFC fight?
Yeah.
How many of them?
Not many.
They win one fight. You fade them every other one, and if he wins here, guess what? He'll get another contract, and I'll fade him even bigger the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get all my Dusko money back. I'm sick of hearing about the Daniel Medina experience. I had to bet. I bet Gauthier. I bet the under. I bet his KO1. The last time he was in the octagon, I had to hear people talk about him having a chance.
No.
The guy's
very clear.
The guy's not a real fighter. The guy doesn't belong here.
You don't belong here.
We did take an over in the Reese fight, and then we took Gauthier, but I told Guru we couldn't take an over, but he wouldn't let us do an under. In all fairness,
that was. But look, I don't want to say the guy's a horrible fighter or anything like that, but he's not a bad fighter. He's a tough guy, but he just doesn't belong in the UFC.
No, that's totally fair.
He doesn't belong here. He needs to go back to FFC.
We've got the Prince of Peru, Claudio Puelles, versus Neto BJJ. Oh my God, I love Brenson Ribeiro. That's so funny. Yeah, it's Joaquim Silva. So I'd like to apologize. There's the TB snafu of the week. Brenson and Joaquim Silva nearly identical. Yeah, in this matchup, this is gonna be an interesting one because Puelles, he's just so uninspiring on the feet. Dude is just not good there and hasn't really made a ton of improvements in that department. On the mat, he truly I don't know. His takedown game was okay against Ziam. You could see that he can use his wrestling. But his jiu-jitsu, it's great, right? It's great. It's just he goes for all the weird stuff. And if you just know how to defend knee bars, leg locks, and how to defend yourself in scrambles, you can render Claudio Puelles rather ineffective, I would say. Neto BJJ, are you up for the task? I think on the feet, it's not even close. Right?
I think Brenson Ribeiro could get his first UFC win here.
Yeah. He had a UFC win.
Second, but maybe his most impressive.
Yeah, I think Silva should have this covered on the feet. He should be the clearly better striker. I'm not sold on like a knockout idea. He didn't knock out Clay Guida, so
Nobody
it's not
nobody knocks out Clay Guida.
Yeah,
What are
no,
you
the
talking
dude
about?
was old. Dude was old.
I don't
He's
care.
got a lot of power.
Nobody knocks out Clay Guida.
He did rock Guida multiple times though.
Right, but nobody knocks him out. Like, I mean, again, and he has been knocked out before. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
he's been submitted 11 times. Okay, he's fought 4. He's 38-23. I promise you, he has less than 4 knockouts on his record. Survey says.
All right, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
He's got fucking 2.
Damn.
He's got 2, and one of them was Brian Ortega, round 3, crazy knee. So,
Doug,
nobody knocks out Clay Guida. Thank you.
All right. But ultimately, so Joaquim Silva, I'm not really banking on him to knock out Puelles per se. Like, I don't love having to choose if he's going to outvolume him on the feet or, I think he's going to be successful stuffing the takedowns for the most part. Like, this is not Arman Sarukian. Yeah, I really think that Puelles, man, there is the path, right? There is a path to victory. I'm not sure that he's going to be successful executing it. I like a little play on Joaquim Silva. A little.
There's a path to victory for who? Puelles?
For both guys, yes.
No. What's the path to victory for Puelles?
Wrestling. Control.
No.
Yeah, that would be his path to victory. And he's done it before. Yes, that's a path to victory. You can't say I'm wrong, bro. Just like stop being salty. What's your breakdown?
Listen. The way that he laid on top of Jordan Levitt, I guess he could do again.
Oh wow, that could be a path to victory. Interesting.
It could be.
Yeah, but I'm picking Silva, and I think we need a small bet there.
Yeah, otherwise, because he's never been submitted, and that's where majority of his wins are coming from. So you're not submitting Neto BJJ, and to your point, since I'm so salty, I do think he's the better striker. I think Puelles is a complete quitter, whereas Neto BJJ, I don't really see it at all, actually. I mean, the Ricky Glenn fight was hilariously bad, and Nasrat has power for all everybody wants to say about Nasrat. He can hit occasionally if you're not looking. So I do like Neto BJJ here. I think he gets it done.
I don't care. I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, this is just one of the hardest fights I could imagine betting because, Neto BJJ is just an absolute, just natural Chad. I'm sure there's nothing, unnatural ever running through this man's body. He's built like an absolute, guy who just prays a lot, does a lot of bicep curls, probably some dead hangs. And he's gassy, though. That's the one problem I have with him. He doesn't really pump out volume. He's pretty gassy. I think in a fight like this, he's relatively finish reliant because Puelles will grind on him and try to get his game going. And at the age disparity, too, Puelles does have some scope. He's not even 30 yet. He has some scope to be making improvements. And I think he showed some improvements in the Ziam fight. So I kind of lean his side. He's off a layoff. It's a short price. I get that he's a little quitty. And I get that he's not the most kind of what TV mentioned. He's not very like a functional grappler at times, going for leg locks and stuff like that. And he will just kind of pull guard and sit on bottom too, which is not what you want because Neto will get on top of him. But yeah, just overall, I think you kind of watch the close fight and you watch some of these other fights too, where he's just not really proactively getting off the cage. Guida's having competitive rounds with him at 40, super old, just pushing him up against the cage and just throwing random BS volume. Like, I think it's probably a close fight in most iterations, or there's a bunch of a wide variety of outcomes. So give me the guy that's 7 years younger, with the potential that he could be making improvements fight over fight at pick'em price, despite his flaws. I think there's scope, long term that you do take Puelles at this pick'em price and you plug your nose. You don't watch the fight. You pray to God he memes him within 30 seconds, and alhamdulillah, we've won again. Let's you just kind of hope that happens. So playlist aside for me, I don't know if I'm gonna get there because, like you guys said, he's kind of quitty and he could be he's not a functional MMA fighter at times, but the age dynamics, the layoff for him, I kind of think he's definitely the side. For me, he's definitely the side.
Fair enough. Divergence. Something the Dogfather is.
We keep going again. I keep going against the grain. It was Jose Medina first. We broke the water with Jose.
No,
Medina.
that was okay. That was okay to do, though. I do appreciate you righting our wrongs there.
I mean, there are no wrongs. You guys can take Medina at plus 300.
No, I don't actually.
It was really
want
just
that.
a principle thing about being scared about Todorovic, and it could be closer, but you made good points. This one, though, this is a close fight, and I get your points there as well. But I do like the divergence. We need a little bit of that. Oh, boy, we got the Anaconda, Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Karen Lemos. Did she steal the ball at the Phillies game? Is that who it was? I think we found her. It's Amanda Lemos. But yeah, Anaconda Tatiana, minus 455 in this economy, plus 350 on the Lemos side. And Suarez is purely submission upside here. Like,
is that a real picture of Lemos?
Yeah, it is, bro. It is. This is
that doesn't look real.
Why? What is it? What is it?
Why does her neck look so long?
Because it is. That's how Jessica Andrade tapped her out standing up.
Like ET in this picture.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
Like Monsters Inc., like the serpent, like character.
Randall.
Yes, Randall. Yes, it's exactly it.
Randall.
Yeah.
Damn, now I gotta go watch that movie. That's a fucking classic.
That's pretty good. Did you finish your paperwork?
Mike Wazowski.
Oh, nicely done. Yeah, I think it's.
Did you finish your paperwork last night?
All right. So, man, this is sketching me out here. If Tatiana Suarez is not successful getting this fight down to the mat early, I'm terrified for her. I'm very scared. But Lemos, God, she's just shown just disappointing levels of grappling and will to win at times. And against Lucindo, it's truly just a stalemate. She's just like, I'm a bit stronger than you. I'm a bit older. I'll win the first 2 rounds and just hold on. Jandiroba, Zhang Wei Li, Jessica Andrade, these are all quitting moments for Amanda Lemos. Otherwise, she's been a dominant force. Oh, yeah, Leslie Smith also. That was funny. That was a cut stoppage, right? Up weight classes, out of shape. Lemos, she scares me, but she's very talented. And on the feet, the calf kicks, think about how difficult it's going to be for Suarez, trying to wrestle, get on the front foot if she's being destabilized over the course of this matchup. Think about, she struggles getting initial takedowns, a little bit against Jessica Andrade. And she allows her to scramble up a bunch where, man, I mean, it's so tough for me to play a minus 455 on Suarez. But yeah, if you're going to do it, you got to just take her submission prop. That's really, plus 130. We're actually getting plus money on it. Like, that's the way she'd have to do it. Plus 180 decision if she just sits on top for 10 minutes. And Lemos plus 1,000 on the knockout. That would be something that interests me a little bit. Because Zhang Wei Li, happy to use wrestling against her. Not really the craziest of finishers. But Lemos, she swings with bad intent. So I think that could be an interesting angle. Rather than take a plus 350 dog shot, take it one step further. I'll give you a plus 1,000 prop.
Well done, TB. Yeah, I think that Tatiana Suarez should get it done at the end of the day. Lemos has shown vulnerabilities in her game where Tatiana Suarez is best. She's been submitted not once, but twice, right? And she's been taken down and controlled quite often in her fights. So not being able to take down Zhang Wei Li is a far cry from not being able to take down Amanda Lemos. I would venture to guess that Tatiana Suarez gets back to her old ways here. Honestly, if anything, maybe it's a crazy stab on that over, TB, because it's still chick fights. So you're not finishing Tatiana Suarez. So it's really going to have to come from Tati's side, which again, you correctly said would probably be the submission. But if she doesn't submit her, it's going the distance. If she doesn't knock her out and doesn't submit her, it's going the distance. So I feel very good about that. Dogfather, what do you think? Does an over interest you? Does a dog?
I really wanted to get to Lemos because of the price for obvious reasons. Like, it's a big tag on Lemos. But man, she just has no fight IQ. Like, number one, she's pretty bad off her back when she get her down. Bad. And her takedown defense really isn't that great either. I will say that, Suarez is kind of a bit of a sitting duck here on the feet. But it's hard for me to imagine what this fight it honestly is kind of challenging for me to imagine what the fight looks like over the course of 15 minutes, because I just envisioned every single time I envisioned the fight in my head, I just envisioned Suarez on top in the freaking neon belly, putting punches to the side of her head and making Lemos give up her back. That's just whenever I rerun this fight. So I don't want to bet the under because it's, like you said, it's still a strawweight WMMA fight, chalked 2.5. Hell no. And Suarez is minus 455 because the grappling threat is so apparent. And I can't get to Lemos because she can fight like a bit of an idiot. And I do think she's a little bit of KO or bust, because even minutes wise standing, Suarez does pump out a little bit of volume. Wei Li was handling business on the feet against Lemos too, honestly. She beat her in all facets. I don't think Lemos really had one moment of success. At least Suarez had a little bit of success in the fight at times. And she's definitely regressed from prior tape, but I just think the path is just so obvious. It's really hard for me to take a side here. And it's really hard for me to bet a total because like you guys said, I could see a top time decision. Lemos can stay safe. But I could also see Suarez just going to hammer town on her. I mean, we've seen this girl get standing arm triangle. God damn it. Yeah. I can't bet an over. If you're getting standing arm triangled by Jessica Andrade, I cannot bet you're over when you're at a massive grappling disparity.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, dude, this one's a tough one. I don't think I have any confidence there. All right. We've got Jesus of Nazareth Aguilar, Jesus himself, versus Luis Grim Gurule. Da-da-dee-da-da-da-doo. The Guru himself. He's getting laid. Plus 170 on the Aguilar side. Minus 205 for Gurule. I'm sorry. I'm having a tough time trusting this guy. You're brought in to face Piccinini, who's the most one-dimensional person you could possibly face. And he does a good job, right? You get taken down, I'll get back up again. You're going to take me down again. And it's just Piccinini gasses out. Gurule's clearly the better striker.
Yeah, but all Jesus Aguilar can do is get a submission, and he's not submitting him.
Don't be silly, jump to Gilly. And that's the issue here. It's truly guillotine or bust.
Yeah.
So it's submission or nothing.
Right.
Why play plus 170?
Is Gurule really that good of a striker?
No, he's not even that good at anything.
So unless he's shooting takedowns for 50 minutes, he doesn't really cover. And my question would be is Gurule's control any that good? Because Jesus will try to get up.
Yeah, no, I heard Jesus is a dog. I just don't really love this fight at all. But the other thing, though, Dogfather, definitely worth considering, has to be on some level. He's fighting Ode Osborne, probably the biggest flyweight, and certainly by the longest reach, to literally, I think, the smallest flyweight and the smallest reach. So it's a major change in that regard.
That's true. I mean, I will say that I don't think Gurule is the biggest guy either, though, to be honest.
No.
So I don't think from like a stylistic standpoint for this particular matchup, it really matters. Both of these guys are pretty stocky, built dudes. They're both pretty small for the division. I'm overall not that impressed with Gurule, honestly. He's a pretty hittable pocket boxer at flyweight who can shoot a double leg. A lot of his fights in Fury FC are relatively competitive. Overall, I think this fight is a dog or pass fight, to be honest with you. Like, if you told me, also the over is kind of interesting because I don't know what a finish from Gurule really looks like, to be personally honest. Like, I don't know. I'm probably going to get to Aguilar bet if the price blows out. Because I don't really rate Gurriel, honestly. I was kind of pissed that I passed up Ode. And I'm going to be pissed if I pass up this guy here again at minus 250, 260 or whatever he gets out to, just because people seem to hate Aguilar. He kind of has like so many solid underdog qualities. He's got good cardio. He fights for your money. He's not really super functional as an MMA fighter, but I can't remember the last time I saw Gurule show off a 15-minute top time clinic. So I'm surprised this price is getting pushed to where it is. And I like the over too.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. I think, listen, Aguilar by sub plus 550, you're tempting me. But yeah, this fight goes. That could be a very tasty prop to have a piece of. I like that idea. I'm
honestly shocked. I'm honestly shocked that the price is what it is.
It's a bit wide. I saw you weren't part of the collab play this time.
No, I'm not. We don't all bet the same thing.
I like that.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how much stuff we're not on together.
All right. Well, we're moving on. We've got the Savage Zachary Reese versus the Reaper Esti Dumas. Cedricus, did you get out of the dog cage? Are you ready to hop into the octagon?
Damn straight.
He's got his ankle monitor off. He's ready to have some fun on Saturday night. I hope you guys are ready for a good time. Zach Reese, underwhelming. Really, really just underwhelming in the UFC. But you could say the exact same. Like, Dumas, this guy did, based off of what we saw in his Contender Series fight versus everything that came after, I'm disappointed, man. I thought
it wasn't just his Contender Series. It wasn't just Contender Series. It was the Icon FC fight. Like, he was knocking fools out. It was so exciting. I'm like, this guy's going to be crazy. And he came in and he's been like the most boring fighter. But by God, does he have a chance in this fight? I took a little taste at plus 230. I had to get a little sprinkle in there.
Yeah, I'll be
Dogfather hates it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. Is that Dumas? The thing I don't love about him is he doesn't want to fight, man. Like he just doesn't want to fight. That's an issue. Josh Frem changed this man, and the fact that we can say those words out loud is a scary sentence, but it's the damn truth. Cody Brundage, that dude is happy to pull guard and sit on bottom. And Dumas is happy to just be like, all right, well, I'm just going to kind of like stay on top of you then. 0 damage or danger. Abu Azatar fight, 34 strikes over 15 minutes. Brundage fight, 17 strikes over 15 minutes. Ruzaboyev barely throws 1 strike as he gets eye poked into oblivion. Tulunin fight, only 49 strikes over 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Michael Alexander, he does nothing at volume. He does nothing with bad intentions anymore. That guy doesn't exist. Maybe $12 in the bank account. SD Dumas comes out ready to fight, but I don't think that they're running good MMA camps in your local regional prison. So I don't think he's actually been improving his game. I don't know. Maybe he's prison strong. Maybe he's improved his cardio in other ways. Maybe he's a bottom player in prison as well, and that helped him out. But this guy likes hitting girls more than he likes hitting people his own size and gender at this point. So I got to go with the Savage, just for the love of God.
What happened to being innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah, no, come on. When you're hiding in the dog cage to avoid the police, that's kind of incriminating in its own right. So officers, what's going on? I didn't do anything. when you've been in handcuffs that many times, like it says all you need to know. Yeah, so that's about it. It's Zach Reese, and I don't feel good about it. And it's probably Zach Reese by decision, by the way. So the over 1.5 at plus 124, the fight goes the distance. Like Dumas is going to end up on bottom. Like Reese is just not, he's not urgent himself. He's not a savage anymore. He decisionates Dusko. Okay. He decisionates Medina. You know, what happened to the guy that knocked out Julian Marquez in 20 seconds? What happened to the guy that subs LAR enough? Oh, he got KO slammed by Cody Brundage and he got obliterated by Bakoyev. That savage Zach Reese, he's not the same guy anymore. I'm sorry. I truly think that this might be my ladder to decision in all hilarity this week.
I think you just laid out. I think you just laid out the easiest fight to pass ever.
Yeah, probably.
Ladder to decision. What an interesting thought.
It sucks, but I don't know.
I think you just gave me after hearing you guys talk about the fight. In my opinion of after taping the fight, I don't really have much of an opinion of these guys, to be honest with you. Like, I think Reese is actually decent for middleweight at the end of the day. You know, he's pretty big. He's long. He can kick. He can kick. His chin isn't the best, but you know, overall for middleweight in the UFC, I think he's a fine fighter. He's serviceable. Dumas, like, I really just don't know what he's going to show up like. I actually think he did have some potential, and I think he does have some potential if he can round out his game. But you know, overall, he really hasn't shown any improvements. And I just think the line's probably right at the end of the day. And I think that the total, I guess, is fine, like, at the end of the day, because you don't know what Dumas is going to show up looking like. I do think his chin is actually good, and I think he's a lot tougher guy than he's shown. But, yeah, there's just nothing here for me to really add any value with. I don't particularly care about the fight. I think you got to give Dumas a better nickname.
The Reaper.
I think there's so many options, though. He looks like a Chipotle bag.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Snoopy because he was in the doghouse.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's never looked good.
Yeah.
No, I lied. The Contenders was fun. Regional was fun.
He did meme. He memed on the Contender. He did meme on the Contender.
Thank you, McBoober, too.
We
Thanks
do
for
like
the update. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Did you have any last thoughts on this fight? I don't know if you got to fully.
my last thought is I'm cashing out my Dumas CLV at 2+24.
No, just keep it.
I cash out a little bit of it. I'll keep a little bit.
I mean, I don't. If you want money on this fight, that's fine, you know. But that's beyond me. I'm not.
Yeah, I changed it from 3 units to 1. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much I'd won. I didn't know where the line would go.
He's gonna come out with the ankle monitor on.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he literally comes out there and books out in 3 minutes to literally just get his show money and go home.
Yeah. Ultimately, that Alessandro Costa's nickname is how I feel about that last night. No, I don't need it. We got Alessandro No Costa versus the Cobra. Alden Correa. This is a good matchup.
Is it?
Yeah, I think, Correa, he can be, fun. And Costa, he's not beyond, losing a tough matchup.
Oh, I don't know, man.
But the question is Correa going to give it to him?
No. I think Costa's really fucking solid. Like, I think he's really underrated in the division. That actually, like, at one point they're trying to get rid of and now has some of the best talent the UFC has to offer. But, when I'm watching Alden Correa fight, what's his face in his last fight? By the way, you spelled his name wrong. It's with an E, not a second A. When he's fighting German, that guy, that guy sucks. The guy is 4-7. And then you look at who he's fought since then. I mean, he's fighting an 8-3 Chris Ochone, a 2-1 Jose Leon. I mean, these guys are not great. I think Alden is fairly well-rounded, but I just don't I think he's a master of none, but decent at everything, if that makes sense. So I think Costa is more explosive and as better. I think he's got more power too.
Yeah, Little Fury FC. So he's a regional guy from that area. Also, he's got the LFA experience. I think, he has at least fought in promotions that I can trust. They're giving him people that, this isn't like a demo fight or something like that. I get your points, but yeah, I do think that he's decent. He fights out of a good gym, 4-ounce fight club. He is going to be like 4 inches taller than Costa, but they have a similar reach on paper here. But yeah, Costa, like if you're not UFC level, he's gonna outclass you on the feet. And even if you are like Usyk, he even lands a knockdown in that fight. So, I do lean towards like a Costa. This is a flyweight fight in the over 2.5 at -115. I think he's got to fight. And I don't think we're going to see Costa get a submission in this matchup, because the Costa that we've seen so far in the UFC, we haven't seen the 6th submission Alessandro Costa. We've seen the Grasso boxing Alessandro Costa, essentially. And while he's tried to go for a takedown here and there, that's kind of where, Korea could have a sore spot. Maybe a little, submission plus 350 could be cute on the Costa side, especially for a -410 favorite. But this fight goes the distance at what I would imagine is plus money, given the over 2.5 is even money. That kind of interests me here for a flyweight fight. And yeah, I mean, both guys have been to a few decisions. So, Guru, what do you think here?
I like Alessandro Costa. I think he's gonna get it done. He probably could even finish the guy, but it's flyweights. That's not necessarily where I want to stick my peanuts. But you know what? I think the sub. If I'm going anywhere, maybe it's not the knockout. I actually think the sub could be sneaky. What's the line on that?
I told you it was plus 350 already. If you
plus
listen
350. No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I'm dreaming about dinner. I haven't eaten yet today.
Yeah, it's all right.
All I've had is a protein shake and a beer here.
All right, Doug. What do you? Yes or no? What do you got here?
I think the line's a little wide. I don't think Costa's like a -4 XX guy to Korea, to be honest. Like at the end of the day, like he's pretty young too. Like Korea has scope to be making improvements, and I think he has made some improvements. Jose Ocon, I know you kind of just glossed over, but he was on the Contender Series and competed on the Contender Series at bantamweight. He's a pretty solid fighter, and fought Hunter Azure short notice on the Contender, and he has one other professional loss right after that to another solid guy. He's a very solid regional fighter, and so is Paris Moran. So I do think that the line is a little bit wide because Costa is chinny, and he's not a great boxer, to be honest. He has power for sure, and he swings, but defensively, there is none. It's just all offense.
I'm sorry. Do you know why that Moran fight was a weed?
Yeah, weed. It's happened to a couple professional boxers too. And in Texas, it is actually like a violation, I believe, of their athletic commission there. So it's happened a couple times where guys have gotten no contest, and people in the boxing world will be like, "He popped."
I mean, he's projected.
He popped.
He was predicted at like 4% to win that fight from like Tapology people.
Yeah, I bet a lot of us bet him. I had a little bit of money. He was like plus 500, 600.
That's crazy.
And he knocked him out. Yeah, I mean,
well, he's on performance enhancing drugs, so I get it.
Yeah, exactly. He was on the Mary Joanna.
Who would do?
But yeah, I think the line is wide. Korea is a solid guy, man. I do think skill for skill, I think this fight is relatively a lot closer. But I do give Costa like a big time hardware advantage. He hits harder. He has UFC level experience. He's a more dangerous guy on the mat. I think he should be the favorite, probably like 75%, like 3 out of 4 times. But this guy just really doesn't have the type of skills to be, pushing closer to 85 to 90% in the UFC fight. He got knocked out by Amir Albazi. Come on,
yeah.
That's just, and he's been chinny. He's been dropped multiple times. It's not like that was a one hitter thing. Like it's happened multiple times where he's been dropped in fights. and Korea can box. So I might get there. I'm hoping this line really blows out to with the point I have to click it. I just have to. But at this price, I'm still leaning. I do think the under is probably the side because I don't really see Costa covering minus 400 unless there are multiple finishing sequences.
I think that makes a lot of sense too. Honestly, it is a little wide as much as I do think he wins, and it's probably the better fighter.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, beautiful. I'm loving the breakdowns. We've got we're getting there. We've got all right. Is it a rat or is it Monsi Rendon, the monster, making a change in her official UFC stats name? I don't know if anyone else knows the Great Mouse Detective, but it sounds like Montserrat's trying to hide her origin. That she wasn't a rat, but she's a rat. Plus 120 for Rendon, minus 142 on Alice Pereira. Not Alex Pereira, not related. She's the golden girl, minus 142. But God damn it, this is one of those ones where it's like her regional competition is not.
Wait a minute. That's
Could we ask you to? Do you have any good feels? Did you have any good regional analysis here? Like, what did you see anything on the Alice side? What do you think?
Can I tell you before he answers? Can I tell you that I didn't realize until right now that that's not his sister? I thought because she's an MMA fighter, I thought that's who they signed. That's really fucking funny.
I was just about to say his sister. Her name is Aileen Pereira.
Right. I really thought it was her. I haven't looked into this fight, to be honest with everybody.
Good. You're not missing anything. I popped on some Alice Pereira tape for about 2-3 fights, and I said, "What the hell is going on?" And I closed my phone and I went on a walk because I don't care about this fight. I understand why the money's coming in on Montserrat. Yes, she's 1-2 in MMA. And if you follow regionals, you got the fader with 2 girls that can grapple at like plus 400 in LFA. Shout out to people that think because you have a last name means you can fight in MMA. Thanks. But anyways, I just don't know. As crazy as it sounds, this girl could be so fraudulent that Montserrat Rendon could get on top of her and potentially do some stuff. Which means that, jokingly but non-jokingly, I'm kind of interested in playing like a Montserrat Rendon ITD prop. In the potential that this girl is just completely fraudulent or an under. Yeah. Because we know so little about this girl that it opens up the potential for volatility. And that leads me to want to be like, I don't know anything about this girl. Nobody knows anything about this girl. She looks like she could potentially be absolutely terrible. Like, I went on her Instagram to watch her shadow box, and I'm like, this is just absolutely awful. I know Montserrat's not the best fighter in the world, but she's serviceable. She's big. She's somewhat physical. She could cage, but she can hit a body lock takedown and get this girl on the mat. I guess. She looks fine. I don't know. She could be. And yeah, Rendon isn't that bad. She's serviceable for WMMA. For WMMA, if you can throw a jab, you're big, and you can cage push. Guess what? You're not a bad WMMA fighter. Oh God. At the end of the day, she was still busting up Darius Lesnikova's face with her jab. So, I kind of lean Rendon being the side, even at this price. Yeah. And I just don't know if I'm going to get there because, like I said, it's just so hard to get an idea of what this girl actually is. I lean to her kind of not being very good right now. She started training MMA 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And she doesn't look particularly good at anything, in my opinion, besides being big. So
big where?
And the glutes, for sure.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, she's not really, doing too much for me. So I don't know much about the fight. It's a dog or pass. I lean Montserrat. I lean unders, actually. And depending on what the price is on Montserrat ITD, I might like not even ironically do it. I'm going to probably put something. I'm going to have a little bit of money on that.
That's pretty
Yeah, let me tell you one thing about Monsi Rendon. She's got that chest pressure. She's elite. Chest to chest pressure,
good.
natural for her. Guru, what do you think?
I'm taking a dog pet shot on this again. Close your eyes. It's
I want to look.
I bet you do. Close your eyes. It's a fighter that's 5-0, making their debut and never fought in the UFC before. I'm taking the dog. Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, like I said, Montserrat for WMA standards is serviceable. Like, and if you lose, you know, you probably feel all right about it, honestly.
Yeah. We'll take a chance. This is
people act like Montserrat's like the worst fighter that's ever stepped foot of the octagon. Meanwhile, she arguably beat Daria Seleznikova.
Yeah.
Like, which is like an okay win.
Yeah, no, honestly, we got to do it.
To that point, by the way, what's up with the name for Montserrat? You just put half her name?
No, like, please go to UFCstats.com. Please go check it out. She's transitioning from Montserrat to Monsi.
Anyway,
I will say, I don't know if I'm going to get to Rendon because it's still not a pretty bet to make. Like, it kind of feels a little bit like the Dumas fight with maybe even less value. But just from how I feel about this Pereira chick, I don't think she's very good. Like, so.
Let's go Montserrat.
We got to fight. All right. We've got the Rhino, Rodrigo Cezinando versus Daniil Danchenko. It's a striker versus grappler matchup. Cezinando, can he strike enough to get to where he needs to on the mat? Danchenko, can he use the 8 limbs to avoid the danger? This is dog or pass. Yeah, it's dog or pass. I don't need Daniil in the the striker. He's got all this ability, but at the end of the day, you can't land strikes off your back effectively. So if Rodrigo's got a chance to get it there, I'm not willing to take the favorite in this spot. But that doesn't mean I need to bet it. So I'll go ahead and pass. It's a dog or pass, and I'll choose the second option, at least from my perspective. Guru?
I mean, I kind of lean with Daniil here. I feel like the damage is going to be a problem. I'm not sure exactly, if Rodrigo is going to be able to grapple or wrestle at a high clip and get him down. I know, while Daniil is like a Muay Thai guy, right? Like, I don't know that his grappling is going to be great, but I feel like he's going to be fairly explosive and athletic. So I kind of like the over. But I don't know. Doesn't like not like rushing to the window here. This is I used to miss when Tough was like really fucking exciting. This has not been it.
I think these two guys are pretty damn good, and I think they're pretty exciting, honestly. Like, Rodrigo's got a ton of granted it's BFL. Let's pump the brakes. It's BFL at the end of the day. He's like running over cans, but he still goes for it. You watch Tough, he's dope. He's pressing grappling super hard. He's winging big overhand shots and trying to hurt you or, sub you. And Daniil is, if you watch his Tough fights there, the last fight against Matt Dixon was absolutely insane. I actually like Daniil, as a prospect. He's 24 years old. He seems to have good cardio. He's a very violent striker with nice defense. He's got okay defensive tendencies, honestly, and good hardware. I think he's made so many improvements from his prior tape. I know Cezinando because I've seen him in BFL a couple times, taping regionals, and I was always super high on him. But to me, he's kind of undersized for 170, and he's a little soft around the midsection. I'd like to see. Actually, both of these guys are 155ers. So I think both of these guys probably move down to 155. But I do think Daniil is a little bit better size for the weight class, and he has better, at least for 170 right now, and he's got better gas tank. So unless Cezinando's kind of consolidating positions in the first 2 rounds, I think that Daniil's at a pretty decent volume striking, volume striking advantage and cardio advantage. Obviously, he has the grappling downside, but I do kind of feel like Centenato is a bit front loaded. And I think Denchenko has a higher ceiling in the sport. So I lean his way, and I think the price is probably fine. I like the overs too with you, Guru. I think as sketchy as it could be, if Centenato's not landing takedowns, he's going to try to grapple really hard early, and it could extend this fight.
Yeah, I think we get into round 2 at minimum. So it's just really gonna be that last 2.5 minutes that gets sketchy.
I think if we get out of round 1, so many fights end in round 1. Whenever you lose an under or lose an over 1.5 and it ends in like round 2, I feel like that happens so infrequently.
I think that's fair.
So many finishes happen in round
Really
1.
really exciting card. Maybe not so much from a gambling perspective, but very much from a watching perspective. Like these are some interesting matchups.
Yeah, there's so many fights that I just want to collect data on. Like
Yeah.
David Martinez, like I want to collect some data on him at this level. I want to collect some data on this Luna guy. Who else? Freaking obviously Elise Pereira. There's a couple other fights. It's just there's a lot of interesting matchups, Obviously the main event's a sick fight. Like you get to watch Jose Medina and Cedric Dumas on the same card.
Wow.
Isn't it a beautiful thing?
You know what they're setting up?
That fight.
They're setting up the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's really what's happening here. They're on a collision course.
It's a main event for the Apex.
I felt some movement given that news that the Dogfather just brought. I mean, this has been a great time. Really appreciate everyone tuning in and being part of the experience for our Noche to remember. Guru, as always, great host, great time. Really enjoyed doing this weekly. And the Dogfather, true friend of the show. Great guy.
Much love.
Love of the game, brother. So before we let the Guru take us away with the proper outro, the music is going to be a disaster on the way out, so I'm going to do my best to bring her in slowly. But Dogfather, what do you got to say for the Guru and all the people?
Stay safe. Enjoy life to the fullest. Stay safe. Brush your hair. Drink some water.
Good man.
That's about it.
That's an interesting one. All right, Dogfather, thanks so much for being here, man. We really appreciate your time. Guys, make sure you're following Dogfather, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 MMA guy. Make sure you're following my co-host TB Scouting MMA over on Twitter, Instagram, Picket, Tapology, and Better MMA. And you can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Picket, Tapology, and Better MMA. We will be back next week with what the fuck is next week?
Go ahead, keep going.
No, when the fuck are we back?
2 weeks.
Baby. Way out from the land down under. Oh, no, we're actually off next week. We're off next week. We will miss you.
The
But
music is tripping him up so bad.
Then we will be in the land down under.
We did our best.
That was awful. You could have kept going with the